killed by biting torpedo.
Who gets the opportunity?
I know, right?
As a sailor. All right.
Come on a torpedo.
Seaman, I want you to all stand around the edge of this knob and bite it.
Thomas McIntyre, 1931, 42 years old, placed a torpedo, small firework type thing.
Okay.
Placed a torpedo in his mouth last night and chewed on it to prove to a friend that it was a safe toy for the latter's son. Mr. McIntyre died at hospital today of injuries received when the torpedo exploded and tore away part of his face. As a result, Jacob Rentschler, 35, a shopkeeper, was arrested with his wife Jeanette, charged with unlawful sale of fireworks. I'm like, no, the dude
Didn't say they were food. Didn't say how do you use this, put it in your fucking mouth and chew.
You can't be sued.
How's that my fault? Cars, choking hazard. Don't try to swallow. You don't blame the car manufacturer.
100%.
No, wrongful arrest.
So she was 4 years old at the time, and Dad was in a bit of trouble at work.
This is a horrifying start. Already horrifying.
Okay, this is in May 1990, was the British Minister of Agriculture. And I don't know if you know much about British agriculture in 1990.
Look, I do, but I'm curious to see what you know.
Yeah, there was a bit of a thing going on where the cows, they were mad.
About how they were being treated?
About how they were being treated, and also about mad cow disease.
A little bit of what is it? Bovine encephalitis.
Spongiform encephalopathy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't got to learn that on the test.
No.
The cows had been getting gradually madder over the 1980s, but no one really paid a lot of attention because they were like, okay, don't eat the mad ones and eat the good ones.
It's been my family motto, don't eat the mad ones.
It's a good one. May 1990, something happened. A cat got it. And everyone had been thinking, oh, it's fine. It's just a cow thing. And then suddenly it crosses the species barrier.
Did it really? Was a cat?
It was a cat. It was a cat. And
I don't remember that.
And people were like, oh, so it crossed the species barrier. And mad cow disease, basically, it's not great. You know, they would lose muscle control. They get weird gait. They get changes in behavior, a lot of licking, a lot of weird repetitive behaviors. And then they die like a horrible, gross death.
Slow, discomfortable, gross, shaky. Bleh.
And then autopsies show that their brain has turned to Swiss cheese.
Fuck me, that's horrible.
So anyway, May 1990, and a cat's got it. And people are like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
So they stopped eating cats in Britain from that point forward.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, as Minister of Agriculture, John Gummer is thinking, okay, we've got to assure people that British beef is safe. Obviously, that would be your priority, not
not keeping people safe.
Yeah,
No.
or making British beef safe. But anyway, so they put out some press releases. Mm-hmm. They didn't work. People were still panicked.
Didn't they?
People were still panicked.
Did a press release not calm everyone's fears?
No.
Shock.
So John Gummer said, we have to put our bodies on the line. We have to step up and we have to
Throw ourselves between people and cows.
We do. So John Gummer took his daughter Cordelia, she was 4 at the time, to a county show.
What a strangely posh and unposh name. Cordelia, posh, Gummer, no.
You get the name that you get.
You can pick your name.
No, yeah.
It's wussy, but you can.
I guess what it is John Gummer, he's a Conservative Party politician. He is looking for ways to climb up that class ladder, not go down the... Anyway, John said, you know what? I'll buy some burgers. Some beef burgers made from British beef. Now, it's unclear whether journalists goaded him and said, you know what, Minister, you should eat the beef. Eat the beef.
Eat your burger, you bastard.
Eat the beef. Yeah. I don't know if they were goading him or he was like, I need to do this. He made a weird choice and he bought 2 burgers and gave one to his daughter and one to him.
You're supposed to say he ate both of them. He gave one to his daughter.
She had the excellent, very healthy skepticism that some 4-year-olds have and should be preserved throughout the rest of her life. She took one hesitant nibble and then turned away disdainfully.
Piss off, Daddy.
Dad chomped it down. It's absolutely delicious, exclaims her dad, taking a bite.
Yeah, because mad cow disease doesn't have a flavour. No one's arguing that it would taste bad. We're saying in 20 years.
Yeah. Now, just not a spoiler, but an update. Cordelia is fine, or as fine as anyone else who ate British beef in the 1980s or 90s. It still may come for us.
How's Mr. Gummer?
He's fine too. But I did want to know, what is the reason, the history, the underpinning of people putting their bodies on the line to demonstrate that something is safe. Welcome to The Wholesome Show.
The podcast that gobbles the whole burger for science. We are burglar gobblers for science.
I'm Will Grant.
I'm Rod Gobble Gobble Lamberts.
So look, I just wanted to know, what's the history here of people putting their bodies on the line?
I'm not going to lie, I bloody love this idea. I love it because people are fucking stupid. And when people get a belief in their noggins, I mean other people obviously because I'm completely sane, rational and an educated man.
Yeah.
They will do the dumbest shit in the world. Okay.
You'll
do anything to prove that you're right. People would rather die being proven that they're right than live.
I got a couple of stories about that.
So what do you got? What do you got?
Look,
what have they done?
I'll give you categories first.
Well, like that.
There's people that have eaten things.
Yeah.
To show they're safe. There's people that have drunk things to show that they're safe.
Yep.
People that have gone places to show they're safe.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is the boring one. People have taken stuff into their arm to show that they're safe. And there's also a long history of product safety. And, some have gone well, some have gone not well.
We're beer fans. Can you give me a drinking one?
A drinking one.
Give me a drinking one.
All right. I couldn't even find how far back I could go on this because I'll just give you my method here.
Yeah.
I did a search in a whole bunch of newspaper archives with the phrase to demonstrate it was safe. And
good search.
And we can find those all over the place. So I'll start with some innocuous drinking ones.
What a great motto for like a sporting team or an institution, to demonstrate it was safe. There's a great British house somewhere and that's their motto.
But I guarantee you,
in Latin though,
after and before the phrase to demonstrate it was safe in all of these, there's some good things.
I ate my own cousin to demonstrate it was safe.
No, okay. President Obama in 2016.
Yeah.
So this is the end phase of his presidency, and not that he's saying, okay, I can go out with a bang here. But there was a crisis in Flint, Michigan, where they realized that the pipes that were bringing water into the houses in the town were lead lined and were bringing lead into the people who were drinking the water.
2016, they went, hang on a minute, lead plumbing bad.
Well, it's underground.
I think it was the Romans.
I know. And that's the thing. So they put the plumbing in, obviously early 20th century or something like that, and they went, what materials have we got? Okay, we've got
Would ask Dad,
copper,
but his brain's fucked.
We've got arsenic, asbestos pipes. Could we do something? I don't know.
Jesus fuck, 2016 lead. Okay, carry on.
Anyway, the problem at the time was that the lead was actually stable, and I think there had been something that was making the lead less stable, a change in the water conditions or something like that.
Weren't they the same place that they turn on the tap and some of it would burn?
Yeah. No, I don't know about
Wasn't
that.
that Flint?
I don't know. It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. But it was, I think, possibly something like that. Obama. And he came to say to the people in Flint, Michigan, I am confident that Flint will come back. I will not rest. And I'm going to make sure that the leaders at every level of government don't rest until every drop of water that flows into your homes is safe to drink and safe to cook and safe to bathe in, because it's a basic part of the responsibilities of government in the US. Fair enough.
So did he prove it just by bathing in it?
Well, he had a coughing fit and he's like, can someone pass me some water? And everyone's like, oh, here's some water. It's some
Barry.
It's some Flint, Michigan water. And it had been filtered.
Really?
Yeah. And so he had a drink.
Of filtered water. He's a brave man.
Of a glass full of, here's the thing, of a glass full of filtered water once from a town. So
No, American hero. That's why he got the Medal of Honor for stuff that was brave.
The governor at the time said, he's pledging to drink Flint's water for 30 days. And here's the thing, it's like, okay, there's two things going on. One, if you're an adult and you are not pregnant, lead is not a terrible problem. It's not great.
No.
It's not great. Not saying it's great.
No.
But the bigger problems are for kids. Obama is not a kid.
No.
Governor is not a kid. Or pregnant women.
And it's cumulative, right? It's really got to build up.
It's got to build up.
A splash of lead, you're fine.
So one glass of slightly leady water, 30 days of slightly leady water, it's not the same as living in a house the whole time. So there's a few of these examples of people saying, I'm going to drink the water that are a little bit bullshit. There's a couple of others in the water category though. So there's a similar one. Do you remember the train crash in East Palestine? Like it was like a train full of all of the toxic chemicals. Like this was 2023. It's like if you put all of the toxic chemicals into a train and then smashed it into a town.
But that's good because if you put them all in one place, you know where they are. Surely that was the logic. And
you don't want to be near them. You don't want to be.
Don't you?
No.
Trains are safe.
But there's this beautiful video of the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, a representative, Bill Johnson of Ohio, and the head of the Environmental Protection Agency. They're in someone's house in East Palestine. And they're all getting a glass full of the water. And you can see there's this gingerness about them drinking the water. And now these are different chemicals to lead. So these are potentially, I think there were dioxins. I think there were...
No. How much do you want your job?
Chloride.
How much do you want your job when you go, listen, you love being a politician. You love being in charge. You want to get voted in again. Drink this shit tin of poison.
And if you put it in a calculation, you will die 10 years earlier, but you get to stay governor for 8 years longer.
My answer is infinity% no.
You are different to a politician.
I will take the 10 years.
You are definitely different.
Look, I knew a guy in college who was big muscle builder, like phenomenal. Like he looked like a mini Schwarzenegger when he was 17. We're like, dude, his name was very Russian. It was like, dude, you're amazing. And I said, do you take the juice? You know, the steroids?
Yeah,
and he goes,
just talking boy to boy.
And he's like, yeah. I said, aren't you worried that it'll collapse all your internal organs by the time you're not much older? And he goes, yeah, but so I'll be dead by 40, whatever, until then. And I thought, 40 seems old now when you're 17, but I bet very quickly it won't. I don't know what happened to him. But he was happy with that. For him, it was 20 years hence. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. It'll be great now.
Yeah. Look, maybe the water was safe in East Palestine. This was the Environmental Protection Agency guy. It wasn't just politicians. So, if I'm the Environmental Protection Agency guy, I'm like, I actually want to do the science here. This is my job is not getting voted in. I don't care. And I'm not here to carry water for some idiot politician. No. Maybe filtered it. Maybe it was okay. But I did like the gingerness. They're just like,
no.
I got two other drinking ones.
Let's keep drinking.
I'll just read the headline.
Yeah.
Indian politician gets water from polluted Holly River to impress supporters.
He's drinking the Ganges? No.
It wasn't the Ganges. And it depends where you go to the Ganges.
Yeah.
Like the Ganges is a long river.
Here's the place in the Ganges I wouldn't drink directly from. It is from where it begins to where it ends.
No.
Those are the bits I wouldn't drink.
Where it begins is beautiful. Like, not that I've been there. I've seen the photos.
Do you drink from rivers here directly?
No.
Just asking questions.
No. Look, it wasn't Madaganga. It was the Kalibain River.
Goddess of death and destruction.
Well, it might be. Yeah, we are in Kali's Yuga, so we all live to her dictates.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he was the new chief minister of Punjab during the time. And he went and had a nice drink from the river. He fell ill with a severe stomachache at his residence in Chandigarh, had to be airlifted to Delhi, which is weird because Chandigarh is a legit city. There would be hospitals. He has to go to a special hospital.
Of course he does. Were they saying that river had anything to do with that? And it was a coincidence? And he had some Armenian food.
I think maybe it was bonus. It was river, yes, but also you get extra.
Also the Armenian food, as we all know.
I got one more drinking one.
Yeah.
Now, this, unfortunately, I'm thinking about a typology of these types of people.
Yeah.
This one is a statement, not a doing it for the cameras. Those other three, we can see people drinking it on the cameras.
So it's like a protest kind of.
No, this is a guy saying, yeah, I did it. Democratic governor of Colorado. It's a weird thing to admit to
being the governor of Colorado? I'd love to go
That's
there.
not that weird. But no, I wouldn't make up something like this. Governor of Colorado, John Hickenlooper. This was back in 2013.
God, that's a good name.
We sat around a table, almost ritual-like, and drank fracking fluid provided by Halliburton.
Wow, there's a lot going on in that small sentence.
Yeah, they all sat around a table. Now, this was in secret and
provided by a weapons manufacturer.
And here's the extra: the ingredients of fracking fluid are secret. And so I think the point is fracking.
No, they're not secret. Water and poison. Look, it's not complicated. Take water, add horrible, and oil.
I think Halliburton's point was, no, fracking fluid is fine. It's legit. We're not telling you what it's in it, but it won't hurt you. And so here you go, Governor of Colorado. You can just drink some sitting
Ritual
around.
style. So they're wearing hoods, but they were naked underneath and they're spanking each other's bare buttocks as part of the ritual.
I don't
Fucking
know.
horrible.
I don't know. But
Fracking fluid.
that's a weird thing to admit, like to go.
No, there must have been a reason like more fracking good. Because if you can drink it, it can't harm the environment.
I think the point is, the point they're trying to argue is fracking fluid is so benign, it's just an expanding fluid or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just glory water or something like that.
Yeah, but let's be clear. It's not the fluids that people are upset about with fracking. It might be, hang on, fracking.
The idea of getting the governor to drink a glass of it, and when the ingredients are secret, here, have a drink of my secret fluid.
And you're like, don't worry, Halliburton are providing it. Was that Cheney? Was Cheney the big Halliburton guy?
Yep.
That's the dude I'm going to trust for things that I'm going to consume. Jesus Christ, that's gold.
All right. So those are my drinking ones. I'm sure. Oh, listener, I just wanted to remind you, my search here was as much as I could do, but please send in more examples, because I am sure there are some glorious examples going back further in history, all sorts.
If you want it, we'll do 20 episodes on this. Ping us on the YouTubes below where you're looking, or cheers@wholesomeshow.com. We'd be very interested to hear what you got. I
got one more drinking one, actually, and it's not a drinking one. It's the governor of New York. There was a fire in a state government building in 1981. A transformer in the building burnt down.
Was it Megatron?
Not Megatron, like electrical transformers. They're full of like bad, gross, horrible chemicals.
Oh yeah, and when they burn, they're even better.
Yeah, cooked versions.
Their gases are fabulous.
Yeah, and this accident was considered the country, America's first indoor environmental disaster.
Wait, what year? 80s?
Yeah, 81.
Hang on, I got a technical term. Bahol shit.
I know, whether it's true or not, the idea of is something so bad that it's an indoor environmental disaster. So anyway, Governor Carey volunteered today to drink a glass of PCBs. Now, PCBs are like the worst chemicals. Like,
yeah, they're not good.
Polychlorinated biphenyls, dioxins and things like that. They are just really bad. And he just said, I could drink a glass of PCBs.
I could.
No, you bet he never did. So I did like that as a claims drink. And that's another class of people saying I would do this, and it kind of undermines your claim if you never do.
I would. I just can't, because I got a doctor's appointment and this stuff, I can only get it now.
I would demonstrate it was safe, but yeah, I have to go for my haircut. All right, that's all my drinking ones.
I want to know a bit more about place, because place interests me.
Okay.
Convince me to go to a place where really all you're thinking is I'm going to be murdered the moment I step foot in it.
Yeah, no, I got one on that. New York, 1967. Police Commissioner Howard R. Leary said yesterday, I don't feel it's unsafe to walk in Midtown area despite all the recent muggings.
Was this just before his obituary?
So, no. He's like, in recent weeks, the commissioner has walked in the Midtown area several times, an aide said, noting the commissioner has made frequent walks in many sections of the city. The commissioner often gets out of his car to observe areas close at hand. So he's saying there's a lot of muggings going on there. And he's like, I walked down that street and I saw no muggings and I didn't get mugged, so you're fine.
And what were you wearing, sir? I was not wearing a bulletproof vest that says I'm the chief of police, nor was I carrying 17 guns, a Kevlar helmet on my head.
I feel like
getting out of a car that says the police.
I know, like the police commissioner walking somewhere, you're not demonstrating it's safe for, let's say, little old lady.
Be a 17-year-old woman and do it.
Exactly.
Go on.
Exactly. You're very different from this thing. So claiming that you're safe.
That's the classic political position too. Oh, I don't believe or I don't think that's true. And that's the end of the argument.
Yep.
Not a good argument.
So
I've tried it in academia. It doesn't work.
So this is the interesting thing. I'm just thinking about these typologies, that there are these demonstrations of safety that are legit. Like you're actually showing something. That one
is
not.
That's a no. That's just a no.
Here's a different sort of demonstration of safety that is not legit.
Is this place?
This is place.
Oh, yeah.
The men of Armoured Task Force Razor, 1955.
Already sounds safe.
Rode out a terrific atomic explosion at close range this morning. Then they demonstrated how to fight with atomic weapons. The 460...
Wait. As in both sides have them, or you're actually having a fight with an atomic weapon?
Hang on, this is America. This is not a both sides thing. This is like we have atomic
there
weapons.
There are no sides. Yeah, you're right, in the 50s, yeah.
The 460 crewmen of the tanks and armoured personnel carriers were the first men to remain above ground near a nuclear explosion. Many of their tanks were within 3,200 yards of the blast.
Which is about 9 meters.
Well, it's 3 kilometers.
3 kilometers, yeah.
3 kilometers of the blast. You can't see it because it's old time 50s photo here, but these tanks and the blast, they are inside. Most of the troops were youngsters with no combat experience.
Bet they didn't get to be oldsters.
But on the whole, they handled the situation as if it were just another conventional exercise. To this reporter in a Patton M448 tank, it was like being at the center of the explosion itself. Though virtually sealed up, the tank was suddenly flooded with the most intense white light. The interior seemed with choking dust, and it seemed as if the tank itself was ripping apart. But the 48-ton monster merely rocked a bit and in a few minutes was ready for action.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I know this is your line, but this is mine. Here's the thing. You write out the initial burst. Well done. Did they interview them, 3 months later? and we go 12 months later. Oh, what do you mean they're all dead? That's fucking classic though. Like,
it is classic.
Look, we're fine.
It's fine.
There's nothing wrong with it. We're fine.
Fine instantly. We're fine. So
that's the lead paint. I mean, the lead drinking water. I had a glass of lead water, and I'm not brain damaged.
I think, and there's a little bit of we'll put some young people's lives on
whatever, because we haven't trained them for that long, so we don't lose a lot of money on it.
I got a couple of other places. 2 more nuke ones. This is just a tiny one. Do you remember all of there was a lot of fighting in Australia in the mid-90s about French atomic tests in Mururoa
Atoll, yeah.
Yeah. He's now Senator Gaston Floss back in France, but at the time he was...
My God, is there a more French name?
Gaston Floss.
Je suis Gaston Floss.
He was president of French Polynesia for 20 years. Jesus. And he used to go swimming as much as possible in the lagoon in Mururoa to demonstrate it was safe.
And he died of acute radiation poisoning.
No, he probably actually did legitimately show that it was safe, because I think the radiation from underground testing probably actually didn't get there. So I think
it wasn't all underground. I've seen Godzilla. They actually did one above.
But again, this is one of those things where he's demonstrating that he's willing to take the risk. And I think scientifically, now I'm not confirmed on this, I think it actually probably was a low radiation situation. But you can't show that in, I got out of the pool and now I'm fine.
Look at me, not glowing.
It takes time.
All my teeth are still in my head after one lap.
Similarly, after the 3 Mile Island reactor, there was a big show, song and dance of Jimmy Carter, the president at the time, visiting the reactor site.
Sure, but I mean, 3 Mile Island, one engineer spilled his coffee and burnt his lap.
Oh, I think it was a bit more than that.
2 engineers.
It was a meltdown.
Ish.
Meltdown.
Ish.
Meltdown.
Minor meltdown.
Meltdown. Meltdown.
Meltdown.
Jimmy Carter came and visited, and a lot of people felt that if the president is coming here and bringing his wife, things must be all right.
And now, in hindsight, they both lived to 900.
They did, so they probably were.
So what I'm hearing is nuclear reactor meltdowns are good for longevity.
So I think that might have been, I mean, maybe it was scientifically legit and he wanted to help with that, and I think he might have done there. I got a couple more place-based ones.
Yeah.
Another swimming one. This is the beaches in Durban.
South Africa?
South Africa. End of 2022 were closed due to a sewage contamination.
Oh, I was thinking to say sharks.
No, well, yeah, there are sharks down there, but I don't think they close them because of sharks. I think that's just by the
beach is never open.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Once they were declared safe, the Durban mayor Molisi Kwanda swam at one of the beaches after refusing. Like he said, no, I'm not swimming there. And then
we cleaned it up, so no problem, it's safe.
Yeah, and then he went for a swim. So there is that sort of demonstration, and I think that's probably legit. So I told you about the beef burger.
Yeah.
I'll build up to this because first there was another beef burger when Mike Pence famously went and got this is not 2020, May 2020, he and Ron DeSantis went to a Florida burger bar, Beth's Burger Bar, to eat a cheeseburger with a side of fries.
Why was that brave?
Well, they're demonstrating it's safe to go and have a meal at the peak of COVID. The 2 politicians, before sitting at an indoor table for their meal, mingled with customers who wanted to talk about basketball, not pandemics or politics. No one wore masks.
Of course they didn't.
And just to stress. Now, I know that there is still a debate about lockdowns and masks and all of that, but sure. I think masks were pretty legitimate at the time. Anyway, 1.2 million people in the US went on to die of COVID.
Yep.
Still more probably.
Yep.
92% after Mike Pence went and did this. So
only 92%.
So this was very much the beginning of the pandemic, and Mike's like, all right, go out to a restaurant. It's important.
But he went with the brains trust Ron DeSantis, so like he had good reason to feel safe.
An oil spill in Portland Harbor in Maine, and the people there were worried about what this was doing to the Maine lobster. People love the Maine lobster, so the governor sat down and ate a Maine lobster for breakfast, which sounds like a really nice breakfast.
Fuck, that's extravagant.
Like, I read the article and it said not many people normally have lobster for breakfast, and I'm like, that's true, but it would be delicious.
Like to. Yeah, absolutely.
So he had a lobster.
I want to have toast or a lobster
to show that it didn't taste too oily.
Well, to show that it didn't taste too oily.
Yeah.
As long as he could keep the eye contact and a straight face, anyone could do that.
Here's one that's benign. Not long after the nuclear army thing, 1957, the army in coming year will start feeding irradiated foods to the troops to demonstrate the practicality of the new preservation process.
Okay.
So they're irradiating strawberries and pork chops and things like that.
Yep.
And actually, irradiating food is actually not the worst way of preserving it. So that was a way of demonstrating.
You still do that, right?
We do. Yeah. I don't know how much we do it in Australia. It is still done. I think peppercorns, weirdly.
Peppercorns.
Yeah. 1991, for the first time in 100 years, there was a really big cholera outbreak in South America.
Cool. This is going well so far.
Particularly in Peru. Now, as we all know, cholera is spread by the poo, and the poo, human food contact.
So the trick is, if you're listening at home, if there's a cholera outbreak, stop sharing poo until it's passed.
Yeah.
Then have at it.
Go to.
Yep.
Everyone was horrified about this, but in Peru, one of the national dishes, and a particularly important one, is ceviche.
Ceviche.
Delicious.
Yummy.
Absolutely.
Fucking yummy.
Absolutely delicious.
I'll have ceviche anything.
But raw fish is not super great during cholera epidemic. Anyway, President Alberto Fujimori.
Fujimori?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a Japanese immigrant population.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And with his wife, Susanna, and his ministers of fisheries and agriculture, went on television to eat...
poo fish.
Well, no, ceviche.
Cholera fish.
Yeah. And one minister got sick after the dinner.
Yeah.
So he spent a week in the military hospital. But there was a huge spike in hospital admissions in the days afterwards because people went back to eating and it was not safe. It was not safe.
Yeah, and look, I mean, one of the founders of the place where we work, God rest his soul, etc., was a parasitologist, and because he was paranoid about parasites, he would never eat sushi or equivalent.
Yep.
And I have no problem with that. I freaking love sushi and the ceviche, etc., but it's fair to say these things are chock full of things that maybe aren't great for you or potentially are going to make it bad anyway. Then you add human poo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already, you don't fuck with fish. It was
that probably led to actual deaths, I think. So, So 2,900 people died during the outbreak. 119,000 people were hospitalised. Way more actually got cholera. It was huge for the time, and it was like, something weird had gone on. They hadn't had it in 100 years, and then suddenly you've got it more, and it wasn't caused by eating ceviche, but it was made worse in this moment. So there you go. There's one of the bad demonstrations. That's one of the ones where you go, you shouldn't have done that. You actually made the situation worse.
They could have known beforehand or not? Because this is what I wonder about a lot of these, like how much of it was willful ignorance, how much of it was actual ignorance.
So I guess one of the two things that you would recommend very much in a cholera outbreak is cook your food and any sort of surface that can preserve the bacteria for cholera. Yeah, cook your food, clean your water.
Wash your little hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your bum.
I think they could have known.
Okay. So those are the ones that bother me more. Like if people are they get a bit exuberant or they get a bit, jazzed up, that's fine. But if you kind of willfully weren't paying attention, then you make me mad.
So there's a couple of other types of people demonstrating. So clearly there's the vaccines. Yeah, we've been demonstrating presidents taking vaccines, prime ministers taking vaccines, and that's a clear part of it. People have been doing that for ages.
And I got no beef with that. Vaccines are a scary one, or have been for some reason. They still are, but they have been.
But I think it's one of the few really legitimate because you're actually doing exactly the same thing. You're not the police commissioner in New York that is like, I'm a different person.
Look at me, I'm bored.
Or you're not Obama drinking one glass of water versus, drinking day in, day out.
You're actually the same as the people you're demonstrating.
Vaccinating, you're actually the same as the same people. So there's a long history of that. But the other final category that I've got is product safety.
Oh, yeah. Come on, this has got to be hilarious.
So not many politicians here. But, well, there was one. After the Millennium Bug, I found like the transportation secretary in the Philippines took a flight in and out to show that it was safe to fly in an airplane.
After,
on January 1. January 1, they're like
plane didn't fall out of the sky.
Plane didn't fall out of the sky.
Yeah. You remember that time, right? Like people were genuinely, even in very safe places like ours, people were genuinely wigging out.
And I think that probably helps people to go, okay, safe enough. There was another like similar sort of thing like Michael Bloomberg, after not the current war in Israel-Palestine, but one like 2013, to demonstrate that it was safe to go into and out of Tel Aviv, then he took a flight to Tel Aviv to show that it was safe to
imagine that, a multi-gajillionaire being safe going somewhere. It's amazing. But I remember that with like Y2K, I remember being at a friend's house at the beach, 1999, the eve of. The only thing we did, we all went to the ATMs and we got a few $100 out.
Did you really?
That was one thing, that was our one concession.
Oh, really?
And then a buddy of mine and I, we sat there with the TV on, waiting to see Y2K click over around the world.
I did not care. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, we just got some cash out.
There was a nice other one. So after some 2019 terrorist attacks in Sri Lanka, 2/3 of the Maldivian parliament took a holiday in Sri Lanka, which is a weird amount of the parliament to all go on holiday at the same time to demonstrate that it's safe. So
Are you prepared to go on holiday to demonstrate a nice place is safe? Yes, I am.
But okay, there's a bunch of other products. I got this, and weirdly, like the 1930s, it's all planes and cars doing weird stuff. Here's a plane that can land itself in 1931.
What?
And so to demonstrate, the pilot puts his hands out of like it's a biplane, like an old school, you can put your hands out. What? And
lands itself.
It lands itself.
AKA if you stop touching things, it will fall out of the sky.
I think so.
Is that landing?
I think so. It had weird wings that could set at landing angle, and then you set them and you just forget, and it was a bouncy landing.
To be fair though, like the actual mechanics of flying, not that complicated.
No.
Like the aerodynamic stuff is not that complicated.
I think though you probably need to adjust a little bit, but
I would rather that was happening.
I do like seeing this guy with his hands out. There was another one, 1933, German lands plane blind using radio. So this was just a demonstration. You could land.
Did he actually blind himself?
They blinded the cockpit.
He didn't stab his eyes out or anything?
Yeah, because I think he was allowed to see his instruments.
Fucking wuss.
Another demonstration, you can land without wings.
What? Well, again, what do we mean by land? Hit the ground? Yes.
Yeah.
Walk away? Nah.
Another demonstration to show that it's okay to be 3,000 feet above Central Park because someone just turned his engine off there and just glided to an air. I don't know. But this was a nice one in car safety. It was a demonstration of an auto brake system or something like that, 1938, and they had to shoot the front tire of a car with a shotgun while it's traveling at 60 miles an hour, and it's got this auto brake system, which obviously that was a problem they needed.
I feel like blowing the tire out is kind of braking.
But I got the two.
Is that the gist of it though? Like we're doing 60 miles an hour, blow a wheel out, watch the auto brakes cut in.
Yeah, I think that was it. Or it steered itself or it's something. Like they had weird problems back in the 30s. They were different to our problems.
Those aren't problems.
They were different problems.
Those aren't problems.
1961, a Philadelphia engineer was demonstrating the safety on a gun.
This starts well. No, let me prove it. I'm going to tuck it in the mouth of my child.
So here's the question. Spoiler: he did not survive.
This is the safety catch, you mean?
The safety catch, yeah. Electrical engineer bought a new automatic gun, designed with a safety catch. He wanted to show the safety catch was all really legit.
Where are we? 60? Did you say the 60s?
1961, Christmas 1961.
Oh, Christmas.
Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Announced the shells could not explode while the device was attached. Placed the gun to his head.
Blew his brains out.
You get the
Merry Christmas. That's that. Honestly, for it to be real, that's beautiful.
But as a demonstration of safety,
don't do it this way.
No, but it's a good demonstration because it
see what happened to me.
It's not safe.
Don't.
It's not.
Yeah, they call it safety. They get rid of the difficult bit in the title. Its actual function, not so much.
I got one last one that I did like. And I read the headline and I'm like, what the fuck? Killed by biting torpedo.
Who gets the opportunity?
I know, right?
As a sailor. All right.
Come on the torpedoes.
Seamen, I want you to all stand around the edge of this knob and bite it.
It was not a torpedo that we think of. It was a smaller torpedo. Thomas McIntyre, 1931, 42 years old, intense dad energy, placed a torpedo. And here I think it means like it's a firework. Small firework type thing.
Okay.
Placed a torpedo in his mouth last night and chewed on it to prove to a friend, Albert Manning, that it was a safe toy for the latter's son. Mr. McIntyre died at hospital today of injuries received when the torpedo exploded and tore away part of his face. As a result, Jacob Rentschler, 35, a shopkeeper, was arrested with his wife Jeanette, charged with unlawful sale of fireworks. I'm like, no, the
Didn't say they were food. Didn't say how do you use this, put it in your fucking mouth and chew.
You can't be sued.
How is that my fault? Cars, choking hazard. Don't try to swallow. You don't blame the car manufacturer.
100%.
No, wrongful arrest. I'm very angry on that dead man's behalf and his wife's.
So,
what the fuck?
People have been demonstrating things as safe for a long time. And look, there are some things where we can believe it. Like if you're taking on all of the risk at the same time.
Sure.
Or if you're taking on the risk and you die, I think that's a good demonstration as well. Like don't chew the torpedo.
Do it this way. Yeah.
Don't try the safety
But there are also things that don't need proving. Like don't eat fireworks is like, I don't need you to prove that to me. I don't. This water's full of toxins. I don't need you to tell me it's okay to drink it.
I always think, and it's a classic Darwin Awards story of some guy, like he's on the 90th floor of a high rise or something like that, and he's like, you know these windows, they cannot be knocked out. They cannot be knocked out.
What happened?
I think he full on. He's down the hallway and he's charging this
like,
thing.
Go.
Out he goes with the window, and you can just go.
Did the window break his fall?
No. The window went straight through with him. Like it's a pane of glass.
That's what I mean. So if he'd been hanging on to it, and
he's
when he
riding
hit the ground,
the pane of glass
it would
down to the
have
bottom.
broken his fall.
And I just think, well, there's literally an instant where people in the room are going,
oh,
well, we were right, weren't we?
To me, that's the most horrifying of deaths because you've got a lot of time to think about it.
And you've got to go, I was fucking wrong.
Oh.
I was fucking wrong all the way down.
How do I make this look cool? That's messed up.
You got any other topics you've been thinking about?
I do have one. Why do we look so different to ourselves in selfies and photographs versus when we look in the mirror? Like, why is it so fucking different? Because I've done this before. Haven't you done this? You look yourself in the mirror and you go, "How you going, handsome?
Fuck yeah!
How you going, handsome? Look at you.
Look at you.
Teeth perfect, chin squared, and then someone takes a photo and you go, "Who's that ugly old cunt?"
I get it. That's a thing.
What's going on there? And there is research on this, which I haven't read yet, but I might because I'm very curious about that.
Do that research.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
I got a sad one, but I don't know if you're following history right now.
Never heard of it.
We're recording in March 2024,
Yeah.
and there's credible situations. We're not very far from the Civil War in America. Like shit.
Very, very not very
Shit's
far.
getting real.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you know what? I'm sorry, Americans. Love you. You're great.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I'm going to say is, what is the shit that we're going to lose
when you blow up?
When America goes to Civil War? And here's me worrying about my TV shows.
Big time.
I'm like, will we get season 2 of Severance? Will we get season 2 of Peacemaker?
Yeah.
Will we?
Season 2 of House of Dragons.
House of the Dragon. I really worry about all the... And this
Silo.
Oh my God, Silo. I'm reading the books right now.
They're much better if you read them. I watched the movie, but the books are much better.
No, I like Silo.
No.
But this is the thing. I'm just like, I don't want you to have a civil war, guys, but you're kind of getting close.
Also, I really like a lot of your actual landscapes and countries.
No, they won't ruin that.
Mm-hmm.
They won't get that far.
We've just talked about...
I got one more. This is a nice study that was on the hyper-vaccinated individual.
Oh, yes.
So this guy has been vaccinated for COVID, I don't know for other things, 217 times. And I want to know, listener, have you been vaccinated more or less than that?
And we're talking only a year or two, right? Like this is not over his life.
Well, he can't have been vaccinated like from 30 years ago. The COVID vaccine has only been around for 3 years. And he's got 217 of them.
I thought that was crazy. I'm happy to get one every 6 months, right? Happy. Sign me up. 20 times a month?
I just got a couple of mailbag from you, listener. And remember, look, send in your comments, send in your questions, send in your critiques and topics. Like, absolutely.
Do it in the YouTube comments or cheers@wholesomeshow.com.
Nice to see your opinions on when sex has taken place. I think I agree with most of you that it's about a genital on genital action.
Ooh.
But the 18% of you that said eye contact seems very nice.
Do you know the weird thing about that? The moment you said that, I was looking right at you and I'm thinking, did we just get laid?
No, but is it all eye contact or is it the eye contact that is the eye contact?
All eye contact or only eye contact?
No, I don't think it's only eye. I think they're saying you can have eye contact and anal sex is counts.
Holy shit, that's flexible.
Obviously some sort of mirror type situation. But I think it's not every type of eye contact because that would be wrong.
How did you hurt your neck? I was doing anal, but she insisted on eye contact to keep it intimate.
It's possible. It's possible. It's also
you sounded very confident then. I'm just saying. Carry on. Yeah.
I just wanted to update on we talked about phobias recently.
Rings a bell, yeah.
And one of them was feathers. And I was just reminded because I looked recently through, as part of this, the mad cow crisis. And there was a time, and I think people still are, feeding feathers to cattle. Now, it's not solid feathers.
Well, they churn them up, right?
Yeah, it's feather meal. But still, it's like feathers.
Meal.
What are you doing?
Stop fucking with cows.
Stop it.